and get started. Good morning, everyone. It feels like it's been a long time since we've been together, so it's great to see all of you. I call this meeting to order, and are there people who would like to introduce themselves? First-time people who haven't been here a while? Anyone? Raise your hand. Everybody knows everybody? All right, well.
Charles De Silva from the Monterey County Sheriff's Office.
I'm going to be doing the IRS update. I think that's very helpful for us to just have a meeting.
Okay, Charles and Tim. Tim, you're looking a little mechanical today.
Oh yeah, that's the emoji.
Yeah. Charles, it's good to have you, and we look forward to your presentation later on. Anyone else?
Robert O'Donnell from Hope Housing.
Hi, Rob. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Robert Daniels.
Hello, good morning. My name is Robert Daniels Jr., community organizer of Building Healthy Communities and also a member of the LEAD.
Welcome, Robert. Any other hands? Good to see some new faces and some old ones. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch to public comment. Are there any comments from the public? Anyone like to say anything? Few words, couple minutes. All right. Hearing none, we'll go to my comments. And I just wanted to acknowledge for everyone that we are going through a tough time, and there's funding uncertainty. The world seems to be going crazy right now, and a lot of things are up in the air. But I'm reminded of the words of John Steinbeck in his book, Travels with Charlie. And if you haven't read that book, it's a true story about when John Steinbeck got his dog Charlie and they got into his camper, traveled around the country to meet people and be with them and learn about them and from them. It's a great book if you haven't read it. But there's a line in there, and I'll try to get it right. I'll probably not get it quite right, where he says, I've never really been lost, but I have been misplaced from time to time. And I think that's so appropriate because in this time of ours, it's easy enough to feel lost. But don't worry, you're just misplaced if you feel that way, and we'll all find our way back. And I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing because what you're doing is more important than ever. So everybody, please stay the course, hang in there. We're going to get through this. So, that said, are there any additions or modifications to the agenda? You're a very quiet crowd this morning. That always makes me nervous. All right, let's go to member updates. This is voluntary. If you'd like to provide an update for your agency or organization, please raise your hand. Alexa.
Hi, Greg. I'll break the silence for you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Alexa Johnson here at HRC. I just wanted to give a quick update. We had our landlord workshop for Salinas yesterday, and it was a small but mighty crew, and we definitely had about 2 landlords that were offering their properties to HRC and wanted to learn more, but I wanted to extend an offer to any agencies that kind of either work with landlords or helping in some capacity to connect their clients to housing. we are allowing agencies and encouraging agencies to have their own info tables at our workshops. We're going to have another landlord workshop in Monterey in August, and then we have a landlord workshop in Soledad in September. So really just trying to create a space where landlords can learn about what programs are out there in kind of a stress-free, no-pressure environment. And I really think that it's helpful when we all collaborate together in those efforts. So if that's something you would like to do, please reach out to me, and then I'll connect you to our landlord outreach coordinator, Dave, to kind of help facilitate where we'll be and when. But just wanted to put that out there. I think it's really beneficial, and we all have to work together and leverage what we can, right? So thank
Hey,
you.
Alexa, can I ask you a quick question? And we can probably talk more offline, but what strategies were most successful in getting your small but mighty team together? Did you promote it in the community, or did you kind of make, like one-off phone calls to people in your Rolodex?
Yeah, we made calls to existing landlords, then we did a newsletter to our landlords and a newsletter to the community, and social media plugs. And depending on the location, sometimes we get some city support as well to be able to publish.
How many people, landlords, made it out to that meeting?
Yesterday, we had about 5 landlords that reached out and watched our panel. So it's kind of a smaller turnout. But in the past, we've done Pacific Grove. That was like 20, 30 people that attended that one. And then in the Soledad one we did prior to that, there's probably 10.
Oh, great. Yeah, we'd love to do something like that in San Benito County.
Yeah, definitely. Well, reach out and I can talk with you offline.
Thanks.
Sounds like a great service. Thank you, Alexa. Let's go to Gustavo.
I'll probably be brief with this one, but I just wanted to share something regarding open positions. We recently had some modifications to our program manager for housing. We are beginning in the new fiscal year using HHAP funds for both rapid rehousing and prevention, using utility arrears and rental arrears, and also short-term rental assistance, security deposits, and so on. But we are hiring for a housing case manager, so if anyone is interested in referring, it should be posted on our website, if not right now, in the coming weeks. And so I just wanted to spread the word on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Gustavo. All right, Kurt.
Thank you. So VTC has a couple projects that are coming to completion. We've added 2 accessory dwelling units on our property. These largely came through donor-raised funds, and I'll be happy to share any information we had on how we did it. We have solar panels on 6 of our 16 houses now. Those came through a combination of community development block grants. And Lake Fighter Village is at 100% occupancy now. We have 70 veterans that are living there, and we're very grateful to the coalition for providing a grant that allows us to do extra services on top of that. So thank you very much, coalition.
Kurt, how many beds do you guys have now total?
We have capacity for 192 vets. We currently have about 168.
Well, that's great. Congratulations. All right, Alex.
Thank you, Greg. I just have 2 short updates. First one is in regards to our CalWorks Housing Support Program. We recently received our funding allocation letter from the state, so we're very thankful that we will continue to have this program into the next fiscal year. And we also currently have a very low wait list. So if any of your clients are families receiving CalWorks, or may be eligible for CalWorks, and encourage them to apply, and experiencing homelessness, or they are at risk of becoming homeless within the next 14 days of their referral, we are able to provide some assistance. It's full wraparound case management, rental subsidies, interim shelter, just very tailored to the individual needs of the family and the client. And then the second, and to get the referral for that, ask your client to contact their eligibility specialist, and they can initiate that referral. And then the second quick update is for our RFP for community action. We are moving along with getting that finalized. Hope to have that released in the coming months. If you are interested in getting the notification when the RFP goes out, I will drop in the email address in chat, and you can email your contact information to us. But it is flexible funding that can be used to expand your services and tailor them to serve individuals or families that are in low income. And there are certain categories that have been identified as top needs. All that information would be in the RFP. But if you just want to get looped into the communication, please share your email address. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Alex. That's all good news. Always appreciate hearing good news. Okay, Evangelina, please.
Good morning. Just wanted to share some good news. Our street outreach team is finally fully staffed. The last 2 hires will be starting at the end of the month. For Casa Noche Buena, we have 1 family room available. We have 2 single women rooms available at Schumann. And Safe Passage has 3 beds currently available, 1 female and 2 male. And at Share Center, we have 6 single women beds that we're working on filling and 4 single male beds. And the youth shelter, some of you, if you drove by, you probably have seen our drop-in center at the bottom. Our windows were vandalized, so all 6 windows were broken off. Our services are still happening. The youth shelter is still open and only closed Friday and Saturday as we're trying to fully staff our youth shelter street out or support counselors. But drop-in services and our hot lunch is still active and going, even though you see all the windows boarded up. And I think that's it. Besides, we still have a couple of support counselor positions open, I believe. 1 part-time at Share, another part-time here at Schumann, and 1 at, I believe, for a youth shelter. That's it.
Thank you.
Evangeline, can I ask just one quick follow-up question?
Yeah.
Maybe you could just share what the minimum qualifications are for those open positions?
For the support counselors, we are looking for someone who, of course, that has their high school diploma, but a little bit of experience working with the population, especially with the youth. The youth is the hardest population to work with, so we really need someone who can handle the youth and is a little, on the strong side in regards to not taking things personal and things like that. But we really need, that's the biggest thing, is someone who doesn't take things personal and can really handle our population.
Thank you. Sorry to hear about the vandalism. It's never good.
No.
All right, let's go to Sophie.
Good morning, everyone. Sophie here from Interim. I have one quick update, which is this Friday at 10 a.m. For most of the day at the Omni Resource Center, we're holding a health and wellness fair. Please feel free to send your clients. I'll find the poster that we have and try to get CHS Pizza, send it out to everyone. That's it for me.
Thank you. All right, Tim, you're next.
Tim Heaven, St. Vincent Preventive Family Care. We are still offering community support and enhanced care management. I want to thank Veteran Transition Center and Life Fighter Village. We've established a great partnership with them. We've been getting a lot of referrals from them. So, shout out to Eileen and Miriam over there. And it's been a good partnership, and we look forward to other agencies also partnering with us as well.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Viola.
Hello, everybody. I'm Housing Service Manager with the YWCA, and I just wanted to share that we'll be hosting a fundraiser July 22nd with the Salinas City Barbecue, and I can always drop the flyer in the chat, or I can send it over to CHSP so they can share. But we just wanted to let you know some of proceeds will go for our services and our programs. We're excited to share that.
Great, thank you. All right, Anjanette.
Good morning. I'm Anjanette Leff from Gathering for Women, and we wanted just to verify that we've been able to house 2 of our guests with the HUD grant that was provided to us. So they're nice and comfortable in their new homes. And then on the 27th of July, we'll be having a benefit concert featuring John Nyman and friends, and that's going to be held at the Monterey Marriott. And if you are interested and you want more information, please visit our website. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina. All right, and Anthony.
Mine's going to be real quick. Tomorrow night we are hosting our HAP 6 information session for members of the public. We're expecting a large turnout. Shout out to CHS, who is doing a great job promoting it. Also hoping to get some local representation from our Youth Alliance. That's really it for us, but I do want to also recognize that CHS had been acknowledged in a grand jury report as basically doing a great job. There were some complaints, and then they were investigated, and just like a lot of organizations that end up going through that review, there were some recommendations, and the only recommendation that they had for CHS is give them more money so that they can do even more work. So thank you, Greg, for you and all your team.
Well, we appreciated that recommendation too, Anthony. Thanks for bringing this up. Appreciate it.
I was just going to jump in and say CHS, Community Human Services, or CH Solutions. So thank you for the clarity on that.
Yeah, sometimes I think we should change our name, but we'll get to that later. All right, Katrina, do you mind introducing our speaker today?
Yes. Our next item on the agenda is the Monterey County Sheriff's Office Resource Hub presentation that will be delivered by Charles De Silva. And thank you for being able to make it today, and I'll just hand it over to you.
Well, good morning to everyone. Again, I'm Charles De Silva, and I want to thank CHSP for having me today. The reason why I'm here, I've been kind of trying to meet many people out in the community with this new endeavor that I've taken on here. I've been here for about 11 years I came from CDCR and Department of State Hospital, so I have some background when it comes to a lot of this stuff, and so it was kind of a hurdle to get here today. So $5 million grant was awarded to us, and when I presented the grant to our administration, I wanted it to be about the community, not about the sheriff's office. And so for me, it's very important that we look at how we build our community and how we invest in the folks who are reintegrating into our community. And so came up with this Reentry Resource Center, kind of like a one-stop shop for our men and women who are leaving us. It's a center that I think is just going to bring hope, support, and I believe opportunity for these men and women. It's going to bring in centralized services for those reentering to society. It's also going to, I think, take some of the silos that we have in our community and bring us together in one area and scheduled. And we're going to go more into it as we dive deep into this. But for me, it's more of it's a community. It's a safe haven for people to come to. People who are on the outside coming in, and folks who are leaving, discharging us, having resources and services available to them and waiting for them. Instead of discharging them at 8 o'clock in the morning or earlier, we're going to do something here that's going to be different, where we discharge them with resources at hand. People will be waiting for them, their families will be waiting for them, their children, There's going to be an area there for children as folks come in the evenings or in the afternoons to do groups or meet one-on-ones with folks, with their therapists or counselors, where some of these people don't have the money or the funds to pay for services, childcare services. So we'll have an area there for their children to be there while they're getting taken care of. So it's kind of it's been one of those projects that's been in my mind for a while, and we're finally getting there. And I'm going to need everyone's help here. This is it's a village. It's not just me, and that's why I'm here today to talk about it and to kind of let you guys know what's coming up here in the next few months. We're looking at opening the doors in July. We're running into little construction issues right now with water and things, but it shouldn't keep us from opening the door. I have an amazing staff who already works here with me inside the jail. I run the programs division here. I'm the director over programs. So we're really trying to change the culture here inside the facility. As some of you know, it's a hard population to deal with. Some people just are really, they're sick and just never had the help. And so I have some staff that have been trained and working with them. We meet them at 90 days towards their discharge, and we start reentry planning with them. And these are trained deputies and caseworkers that I have working with us, folks from the outside who are coming in, who are volunteering their time. And then we create these reentry plans for them. And then we start setting them up out with folks that are outside, just like you guys, places like the Bridge and Valley Health. So folks that we work with already, and I want to open that door up to more people. Again, it's an amazing time for us, for our division here at the jail. Some of you guys may see, we have job opportunities that we do, job fairs and things like that. So I want to open that up more to now having those employers come in and actually interviewing them here at a facility at the modular. It is a modular. It's nice triple wide modular. It's a nice building. It's going to be a safe place for people. And it's going to be a place where they're going to know a familiar face. And if they're having trouble on the outside, they can come back to us. Not come back to jail, but come back to the modular and to the building and meet with one of our staff so that they can get some help. So that to me, that's kind of the basis of what it is. I feel it's a community thing. It's not a sheriff's thing. And I'm being very open with that. I think that's something that I believe highly, that I've been promoting. And again, for me, it's a commitment to safety and rehabilitation. It's a journey towards reintegration, and I think that's something that we were lacking. And I think now we're solidifying that area of weakness that we had. So that's kind of the game plan: is starting from within 90 days, getting them set up with folks, and then meeting them at the Monterey County Rehabilitation Center, Resource Center, and then connecting them and making those bridges out to the community.
How can all of us help? You mentioned we all need the help. What can we do?
So I have staff that are going to be connecting with you guys. I have your numbers and names. I see. Thank you so much. I'm seeing everyone just sending some nice messages. Thank you. I have several staff that are going to be reaching out to the community individually and start meeting with you guys and making those connections. What you offer. We're going to start creating brochures. We're going to start creating pamphlets, and so that these men and women have access to resources. And then we're going to have an opening here where all of you will be invited to come in and check it out and see how you fit in. And we're going to have a schedule we're going to set up so that everyone has kind of a piece of the pie. So if let's just say Dorothy's Place that just came up, and want to come and talk about what they offer, or they'll have an hour a week or something, or they want to provide a program or some kind of idea to these men and women, because some of these men, they don't know where to go get resources, or some of them have a clue, but then they've been kicked out because they're not allowed to go there anymore. So it's a schedule that we're going to put. It'll be a week-long schedule. It'll be from 7 to 5 right now until I get some kind of I want to see what the foot traffic is, and if we have to go later, we'll go later. If we have to go earlier, we'll go earlier. If we have to go into the weekend, we'll go into the weekend. And so those are things that as we go on, as we move along, I'll start figuring these things out. But there will be a schedule where everyone will have kind of a half hour, an hour or so. I know probation and behavioral health is going to be a part of this. The probation officers will be coming in. The game plan is instead of going to the jail, they meet them out in the unit, and they'll have an individual room there where they can do their assessments with them, so that both the person, the client, and the probation officer are safe. They're not out on the streets meeting each other somewhere. They have a place to come to where it's safe. And then the peer pressure. People see you on the outside, and this guy's in trouble. What is he doing? And then that kind of thing. So for me, that's an important part of the game, is to bring people together, including probation and their folks. Having probation here is going to be key as well. Some of these folks don't understand. They don't know who their probation officer until the last minute. And so we kind of set them up for failure. I want to set them up for success. And so on both ends, on our end and when it comes out to the community. So what I'd like is just to kind of please educate us on what you do. There's so many organizations. My staff are going to be reaching out to you. Please, any meetings, anything that you want me to be a part of. Roxanne is the one that got me into this meeting, so I appreciate her for connecting me with you guys. I was at another meeting on Monday, so I'm kind of starting my little show, I guess, my road show, and going along and meeting with folks. I'll be probably calling you guys personally as well, but just kind of go and bend your ear a little bit and understand what kind of possibilities we may have in the future and how we can partnership so that we can create a better reentry, I believe, process for these men and women when they leave out to the community.
Very exciting. It'll be great to see where this goes.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. This is a long time coming. It's something I'm passionate about, and I feel that sometimes I feel that the men and women who are incarcerated in the I call it in the big penitentiaries have more access to programs and stuff than the folks who are here in the county jails. Sometimes they have less. And these are the people that we need to take care of because they're in our community. They're our neighbors, some of our brothers and sisters. And so I feel like we need to do more work with these men and women who are leaving the county jail. Prison system has some robust programs already and things. I came from there, so I know what they have. So it was a shock to me coming to the jail 11 years ago and not having anything was a shock to me. So I can say we're in a better place now. Fast forward 11 years, we're in a better place, and we're doing much more. And we're progressing. There's so much more we can do. And this is one of those endeavors that I wanted to take on to kind of reunite and bring families together and educate these folks, because some of them were dealt I always say, they got a bad deck of cards, and, some of us are just dealt those cards, and we just have to play them. We have to deal with them. And so why not help them?
Very good. Well, thank you, Charles. I'm going to go to questions. Tim, you have your hand up?
Yeah. Thank you for the presentation, Charles. Good to see you here. A couple quick questions is if there's going to be a housing offer to the folks for this program in particular, and also if there's any plan to maybe like hire some people that are lived experience, that maybe they get out and look forward to maybe working there. Give something to them to look forward to.
So to answer that question, I took a little bit, and I'm not going to lie, I took a little bit of the Santa Clara County model. They have a great reentry resource process there, both in South County and their centralized area. And my staff went to the Gilroy one, and I went to downtown. And what they do is they hire folks who have had backgrounds and come in and help. They start out as volunteers, and then they move their way up. To be honest with you, I'm trying to get more grant money to do that. It takes money to do that. And so that's my goal, is to start out with volunteers and then move our way to getting people here who can be caseworkers or just, community provider kind of positions. I'm looking at some key positions that Santa Clara uses that I'd like to bring on to our facility here.
Even utilizing like the community health worker, like, you know, through the county is a free training that they could go through. Probably a really good one to do as well.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great idea.
Okay, Katrina, your hand is up.
Hi. So thank you again, Charles, for coming and presenting this to us. You've hit a really great group because it's composed of 26 organizations of direct service providers. So what I'm hearing right now is you're looking at a model that's maybe from 7 to 5, maybe Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. How many offices do you guys have? Or is it like an open space?
So there's 4 offices. There's one small little interview office, and then there's a big space that probably takes about 25 or so folks for evening groups. You know, we're gonna. That's kind of the stuff I want to talk about. Is what can we provide in the evening for these men and women that they can come to, or when they leave the facility, they have access to, whether it's AA, NA, spiritual groups, any type of resource that we can bring on. That's what we're going to schedule in so that these men and women have access to it.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I would love to connect with you offline as well and see how the coalition can help coordinate any of our service providers. And if you, whatever you need, I think this is a great service to offer our community. And I'm sure if there's space out in your area, our organizations would love to be there and help fight the good fight.
Thank you so much.
Are there any other questions or comments? All right, then. Well, thank you so much, Charles.
Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate it, and looking forward to speaking to all of you. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Katrina, would you put the agenda back up, please?
Sure.
All right, that takes us to the solution set. So it's been a little while since we all checked in on this. Last time we talked, we had just finished our master design document. And that was a big accomplishment, major milestone. Now I'd like to hear a quick update from each of the working groups, if I could. To hear about how you're going with implementation. I know a lot of you are hard at work on that and doing various things. So, you don't mind just give us an update. And Katrina, I'm going to start with you since you're at the top of the modules.
I knew it was going to be me first. So, thank you. I have to be honest, I just got back from vacation and I have been catching up on a bunch of things in preparation to leaving for vacation. So I'm still piloting out our module and seeing how things can work better and what adjustments are to be made. What I'm finding right now is the implementation aspect of it is going well. It's just the report back from our outreach teams that is not it's not there yet. But I would also say we haven't started the actual training for that implementation. So it's to no one's fault on that aspect of it. We probably have had about 30 encampment cleanups since January 6th. And I've just been pumping them out. These are not onesie, twosie cleanups when it's happening. There's like anywhere from 5 to 10 encampment cleanups per request. So, or per notification to the coalition, then to outreach. So working through it, looking forward to getting some feedback from our outreach teams on kind of how I can improve this module. But tracking along on my end for the advanced communication module.
So I see the emails, Katrina, because you send them to me too, that go out and announce these sweeps. And I understand the efforts that you're making to get this module going. And I am a little concerned that you're not getting the feedback and the response from the outreach groups. what exactly would you like to ask them to do? This is important.
Yeah, so I think that part is because they haven't really gotten the full outreach training as well. So it's the linkages of services. When I look at that report back, so I have a post-suite report that I'm asking for, and there's a part where services given or services provided or services offered. I'm sorry. And sometimes it's NA or, it's just basic needs. So maybe water or, hygiene kits. But the linkages of services I'm not seeing just yet, and how we can get them out to, are we contacting emergency shelters? Or are we offering like, hey, there's an emergency shelter down the way. I work for an emergency shelter or an organization that operates an emergency shelter. Would you like to take a look at it? Would you like to hear more about it? I'm not seeing the services aspect of it right now.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, I went down there was 20 people, there were some dogs, I gave them water.
Okay, so some of that's a training issue and an issue around not having done a formal kickoff.
I think so.
Yeah. So let's hear from the outsourced group. I think I see Keishla's name here. Keishla, are you going to give the update, and can you respond to any of this?
Yeah, good morning. So kind of what Katrina was alluding to is she was out on vacation, and so the outreach group has not met because we were waiting, for Katrina to get back. Where we are with the solution set design is we're supposed to come up with milestones of what needs to be accomplished by when. And I think that's to Katrina's point, is that the plan hasn't been completed, and therefore, it's not operational. And so although I do believe, outreach groups are going and responding, I don't think that they all are understanding what the expectation is quite yet, because the outreach module hasn't been completed. And because it hasn't been completed, there hasn't been training on for all of the outreach teams on what those expectations are. So we're delayed in response because the solution set isn't complete.
That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah. Well, we'll all get there, right?
Exactly. So now that Katrina is back, we'll be coordinating a meeting so that we can finalize the set. Hopefully by next week, if not in 2 weeks.
Great. That's wonderful. And I've said this before, you've all heard me say this, so much of this is about the interface between modules, not just what happens within the module itself. So in this case, outreach, and that interface is two ways. It's with the people who are in the encampments, but it's also with the next step, the module that keeps track of, and the people who keep track of where are the available shelters, how much room do they have, what's the nature of those, how do they work, where do you want to go, what are your options, there's that whole end of it as well. So that said, Donna Smith is leading up that module. I don't think I see Donna's name. Donna, are you here and I'm missing you?
Donna's not in, Greg.
Is there anyone from her group who can provide an update?
I'm on Donna's team, but we haven't convened in a while. I think she was taking some of the project offline to work directly with the team lead. So unfortunately, I can't report back.
Okay, I know that that particular module is pretty far along in implementation. A very thorough list of shelters and options and housing options and so forth. So, all right, we'll catch up with Donna later on. Regina,
don't see Regina.
I can tell you that that group has been working on several things, several training materials, some recommended guidelines for how to do things optimally. Part of the trick there is we don't want to get so detailed in these particular guidelines that people just say, well, forget it, I'll do it my way. We want to be general enough that it applies to everyone, but not so specific that people say you're in my space. So I know that's a lot of what that group has been dealing with, and they're making some good progress. So we'll look forward to seeing the output there. And then last but not least is Anthony, your permanent supportive housing group.
Hi. So we are, we have three specific implementation elements. We're starting with the one that was most simple to get off the ground. Last month we drafted a assessment for activities of daily living to make sure everybody is matched with the appropriate services that they are in need of. And we definitely have had some absences from the team due to vacations, and then even on my team. So we haven't gotten to test it, I think, broadly. The staff members that are testing it in my team, one of them just returned to work this week. So hopefully by next week we'll have some actual feedback from frontline workers that are using the tool. This month we are also planning to pilot a housing inventory tracking tool, and that would have housing units and landlord contact information. And then if both of those go swimmingly, then our third project element would be the following month. And that's around the feasibility of potentially utilizing the Smart Referral Network or recommending implementation of similar elements. And that's it for now. Hopefully at our next meeting I can tell you that we've got a finished product for each of those.
That would be great. Thank you. And I totally understand how this is difficult work because it's on top of everything else all of you are doing. And, I'm so appreciative of all the work that all of you have done. It is time for us to rekindle our energy around this and take this to the finish line. We need to get to a broad implementation, which means there's going to be some training sessions, some Q&A sessions. Part of the implementation plans are rollouts of all the information, the tools, and so forth that are being created here. And they're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's why we're going to roll it out, do the initial pilot, see what works, what doesn't work, make adjustments, and move on. So this is really important. This is really the difference between a whole bunch of individual agencies and government organizations and a more cohesive system that binds together all the players in their particular roles, integrated with all the other players. This is what we're after. And this is a big step up for us potentially. And I think potentially if we can make this work, we can really be an example, not only for ourselves, but for within the state and possibly beyond. So I encourage people to please redouble your efforts and get into those implementation plans and get them executed, please. And I am always available. Well, I'm not always available, but I'm available to help out and attend meetings, and I try to attend them. But frankly, I haven't been attending that many lately either, so I'm going to eat my own dog food and questions or comments on this? All right. Well, again, I want to thank you all. I want to thank everybody in the meeting today for being here. And remember, let's stay the course. Thank you. And I'll ask the board to be back at 3 minutes till 10 o'clock.
John has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, John.
No worries. You know what? I should have spoken up earlier when we had the opportunity for updates. But it just dawned on me that I wanted to share next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there's a California Native Harm Reduction Summit in Monterey. That's free of charge. A lot of interesting topics with mental health services and homeless prevention for natives in Monterey County. And I also have established contact with the Esalen tribe representative that I'm going to try to meet within one of those 3 days. I haven't established the meeting time or date yet, just in case anybody's interested in joining the meeting to see if any HAP 6 tribal funds might be something we can apply for and contract out or work with them in some capacity. So I just wanted to share that, and then I'll put the link to the event in the chat just in case anyone's interested in joining. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, Jill has her hand up.
Hi, thanks. And thank you, John, for breaking in and doing your update, because it gave me a voice to do ours as well. I tuned in late to the meeting a little bit. I just wanted to let everybody know that on June 1st, we formally decommissioned our drop-in center at Dorothy's Place and reopened that space as our new behavioral health peer support unit, which the staff has named Sanavida. That's Sanavida. The name roughly translates to healing life. The first phase of the physical renovation is complete. So it has restored the main activity room, which is now very calming and welcoming, and restored the main office that's there. The final phase will kick off shortly with the assistance of the Hayward Family Foundation, and will create 2 more offices, basically private interview rooms, as well as repair the air handling units for that space. Our peer support specialists, we have 3 now. 2 have graduated their 80-hour training with the state and are certificated, whatever you say for that word. The 3rd one is in process of getting her certification. These folks are fantastic. They all have lived experience with homelessness. They all have lived experience with mental health or addiction issues, or both. And they're quite the inspiration for our Chinatown neighborhood and the encampment that's here. They are providing not just that safe space, but they are doing individual interviews to get people hooked up, and not just hooked up with resources for behavioral health, but hooked up with that particular specialist so that they can be there to walk them and handhold a little bit through the process, because some of the public health processes for behavioral health take a little time and patience to engage. They're also beginning to hold group activities, and their weekly agenda has a separate agenda for each day of the week for different things that they're concentrating on. The television that used to play movies all the time for people that came in are now playing inspirational stories from people that have conquered or achieved stability with their behavioral health issues. And it's very well attended. These presentations are in English and Spanish currently. So it's really a cool space. Just one more note that the neighborhood encampment here in Chinatown is constantly in flux with continual sweeps and relocation of the campers, all of which are very heavily disabled with mental health and addiction issues and continually victimized by gang activity. We're trying to figure out as an organization how to deal with this. So we have formed a strategic planning committee that is going to focus specifically on the encampment issues and how they affect our service delivery at Dorothy's Place. And that planning committee is about to kick off with their first meeting. I think it's next week, and be performing for 8 to 10 weeks. And sorry for the long update, but I had a little bit to catch up on. I appreciate us being behind schedule and allowing me to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Travis, you have your hand up for an update?
I do, thank you. Sorry, I should have shared this during the update section, but I want to give a little plug for HomeSafe, which provides case management, housing support services, and financial assistance to adult protective services clients who are at risk of homelessness because of abuse, neglect, or self-neglect. So we have some funds for this program. APS serves older adults who are 60 or older, also adults between the ages of 18 and 59 who have disabilities that restrict their ability to complete ADLs or protect their own rights. So I'll put the information in the chat on how to access HomeSafe. But we do have some funds available to prevent homelessness. Please do make a report to APS. We will look at the reports, and then we can determine if someone meets HomeSafe criteria. We'll make a referral, internally to the program. But we can pay for lots of different things related to, financial assistance for prevention of homelessness. So I just want to make a plug for that. So thanks very much.
Thank you. It's funny. More hands are going up here. I'm just going to ask the remaining people with comments to please keep it short so that we can finish the meeting on time. Anthony?
This is just for John real quick. I'm really interested in attending the Harm Reduction Summit, but it looks like registration is full. Do you know, is there any way that we could still get in?
Do not know, but I can reach out to the people that confirm my registration just to see if there's space as a walk-in or what have you. And then I'll email you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and Wes, you have a comment?
Concerning Chinatown, a couple of updates which may or may not be aware of. City of Salinas, a few council members are really chomping at the bit to close the navigation center and revitalize Chinatown. So I guess that also throws into place since drop-in center is getting close. I was wondering how long Dorothy's might be sticking around if that happens, because it sounds like they're on a fast track. They're going to be handing over the triangle piece, the corner piece, to a developer after spending at least $10-15 million to mitigate the ground issues and make it affordable housing, I suppose, like this giveaway to the developers. So there's some money misspent. Also, the jurisdictions seem to be probably one of the main antagonists of why we have a drug issue and gang activity there. If people did have an address somewhere they could be, they'd be harmless, not homeless. And I guess I'm worried, because they also said they're not going to pay for the share center either. So extreme burdens, and I'd like to see that livability license come to fruition, and a complaint form, I guess, for folks living outside for our monitoring or an evaluation, the grievance committee. For sweeps as well. Thanks.
Jill, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, just really quickly before the rumors start that Dorothy's Place is shutting down, because it's not. The drop-in center has been decommissioned, but Sana Vida is performing the same basic needs services as the drop-in center was, and it's become very popular once again. We've made a significant investment in service delivery there, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Good. Glad for that.
As far as the
Glad for that.
navigation center and the share center, my understanding is the city council is currently investigating options and doing some tours and collecting information in order to make a final decision about funding for those two programs. And so no final decisions that I'm aware of have been made yet, so nothing has been officially cut, and we'll see what happens. Any other your final comments before we close? All right, everybody, thank you. And I'm going to ask the board to come back at 5 after 10. Want to thank everyone. Our meeting is adjourned, and we'll see you next time.